going to be able to intervene. We'll just run back to the fountain, of course, with a reset. Even keeping daedalus here. The chances are, though, daedalus probably will just leave the building. Unless, I thought maybe they'd stick around to bully KJ a little bit, but no. He does leave.
You can take a look at that mid lane. Again, you've got the puck lane coming out for Analog, up against no one on the Lesh. And this is a matchup that we used to see way more often back in the past. Not so often this time around, but I feel like this is a lane that can go kind of just 50-50, as they were still poking out on daedalus down bot, or at least poking out KJ down bot in that Ogre Magi. A little bit of a rough time, only one tango left, not going to feel too good, but he did manage to walk some tangos over for his carry here for Yuma. And by going through the courier, you don't sacrifice too much there at the very least. It's already a little bit of a rough start down bot. And this is not set to get any easier. At the very least, for the Lina, you have the range advantage, you can poke back. You're not going to be too scared of the tombstone here overall. And with a learning curve facet as well for KJ, with no dispels on hand, that Ignite level 2 is going to feel threatening. But back to that mid lane. Right, the Leshrac versus Puck, this is a manageable lane for Puck, but we've seen from no one before. He tends to crush a lot of his mid matchups. This guy is just on his second form in the scene once more. He's just been on top of the world, and I don't think this is going to be too simple for Analog. Room control is going to be a big part. Trying to dodge out these spells is relatively annoying for the Puck. You're not going to be able to really maximize your Puckish as much as you want here. And that damage output of no one is to be respected, especially if he gets this brown boots timing, just has an opportunity to run in with the Edict. It can kind of catch you off guard if you're not too careful here.
Yeah, absolutely. Bottom lane, Yuma, KJ. You saw them up against the Undying. Yuma should be a pretty easy time. Can't imagine him having too many issues. Top lane, Satanic and daedalus going to be against Schofield and Whisper. They have found Schofield. Whisper will try to intervene. Doppel out early from Satanic, trying to move in on the Shaman. There is a bit of heals coming in. Schofield still alive. There's the chicken form, but he is still gonna drop eventually. It's daedalus barely surviving. Whisper, he'll be okay to retreat. There's no mana left with Satanic. They do secure first blood. You're very happy right now if you're peevish.
You are just having that little bit of an edge coming out for Satanic, who again is kind of set for a pretty fun game here. Having this timing into the act is going to be key, as it will allow a lot of early activity. Again, according to PSJ, the way to play with that axe is to just run in, to be the front line, to get your damage out by just constantly phantom rushing in and getting all of those illusions out with your lance and the Lancelot facet. Whether or not it'll be effective from Satanic, we'll see, as again, he's not going for the standard diffusal manta here. It's going to be that new tech. There's only so much you can do on top of this with as well. He still has the mangle, he's got the level 2 Celestial Hammer up. There's some good poke to come in. It just feels challenging to find his connection, because you can't really commit onto the slippery PL unless you overstep here on Satanic. But there's always that threat of the Nightmare drag back here.
Yeah, I mean, now the Tier 1 tower also attacking Schofield, it makes it basically impossible for him to try and get drop another kill here for Satanic. And daedalus, he's been very good with these. I mean, I know it looks simple with the Nightmare setups that he's been making, but he's finding the little openings you require to actually kill off this Shaman quickly. I mean, beating all these kills to Satanic, never really a good idea.
No, certainly not. Again, Ag's timing is going to be pretty ridiculously fast. And if it goes according to that theory crafting from DSJ, from his experience in his own games, again, this is a monster of a hero. It's tanky, it's got a lot of magic damage. You're going to handle kind of question, what do you do against this Ag's peel? You're going to need probably the pipe. Will the Crimson Guard be enough? Who knows? You're depending on the Lancelot. You're depending on those lances for the rush. It's a lot to have to consider here, and a very smooth start for the side of P-Vision already. 0-2, 1K lead up their way. You are managing to get a lot of good value down bot. I think this is the one weakness right now for P-Vision. This isn't really slowing things down, but mid.
Locked on, stop 9 class. Very nice rotation. No one with the Edict doing so much damage. Another thing here for Analog, like you've got to be a little bit wary of these 9 class rotations. Just the critical cure alone during this night. Very, very scary.
It is, and again, it's that beauty of this Night Stalker pick to counteract that puck. You don't have the hardest one. Oh,
again? They're gonna try and fight back. daedalus might drop this time. daedalus heals up and actually will go down before the brain sap. Still dropping pretty low though. Satanic, he might just die, but no. He won't risk it. This time they are able to pay him back. Satanic now getting dived. Maybe they can really punish him. The shackle comes out. Satanic will go down. No one. He'll move into salvage a little bit. This time, Schofield gets away with it. A double kill for the Shaman.
It's massive for Heroic. Now just going to get that threat coming in from Whisper, having a little tree celestial hammer. You see that setup. If you don't manage to burst down this Shadow Shot in that window with a nightmare, the follow from the Dawnbreaker is threatening. You did manage to dodge out most of it with Satanic, but your backline's very exposed. You don't have that big output any longer with some stats up now on the Dawnbreaker either. So you're very comfy for Whisper to start aggressive. 2 to 4, 6-minute power runes coming up. A little bit of posturing onto that mid.
Well, they've got no one. Edict is already going. No one. A bit of a sitting duck. Nightmare, though, on to the Dawnbreaker. Not going to save the day. Very nice pick up now for Analog. A bit of revenge here. Heroic. But here comes 9 Class to at least get Schofield. It'll be okay to run his way out of the Night Stalker. But still a very good kill for Heroic.
And it is and again, a very important one to find. We're putting a dent on that start for No One, but we've seen this from No One before. As long as his direct 1v1 lane is going fine, which it was until these rotations came in, he can still get that work done. He's gotten his levels up. He's already, and at that level 6 mark, he's gotten some good use out from Pulse Nova with a rotation top earlier. For the side of Heroic, the question you have to ask is, are you kind of ignoring sides a little bit too much? Like, yes, you managed to find that counteraction top for a moment. Satanic, with all that movement down onto mid, is just free farming top. 1 part into the next already. You are securing some space for yourself on Heroic with some good stacks, but there is a ward watching this from P-Vision as well. So you get the D-ward going, but they've already seen the stacks built up. They're going to be able to contest at some point. You do have some clear potential here. He's put a Celestial Hammer up to get that farm slowly rolling, but I think if you're on P-Vision, again, you're still relatively happy. You need more time. No, Phantom Lancer with the axe timing does take a bit. It's 4,200 gold you're demanding here from Satanic. The one thing I'm curious about is just how well DM does on that off lane Undying. We saw Whisper's Undying. There was a moment where he was really strong with a Blade Mail. You're approaching that timing now as well for DM. It's going to be a big body that's going to be challenging for Heroic. Yeah, you've got burst damage with your Lina, with your Puck. You've got this combination with Solar Guardian ready. Just a matter of, will you be able to find the targets you'd want? Will you want to push the envelope a little bit harder here, play a little bit faster compared to game 1?
Plan, long green clock minute as well. KJ gonna show up. He's gonna be a little bit cautious of No One though. It's just so much damage, but they will still take him out. KJ will sacrifice himself for that kill as 9 Class will try to retreat, but it is daytime. A little bit hard to get away. Heroic successfully punishing in the mid lane once again.
And they're finally getting some connections out. Again, that early threat, the high mobility on Heroic, not to be underestimated here by P-Vision. Easy setup with Dream Coil into Solar Guardian. He's got to follow. All this happening without, say, early connections yet. From Yuma, who's still free farming down bot with no threat in the Undying. Once you get the moving pieces all together, things start to become threatening. You're also slowly approaching level 6 marks, right? Like Schofield, once he has that Mass Serpent Ward killed into a tower, becomes very feasible, of course, for the side of Heroic. And that's where the map space might start to shrink for P-Vision. For P-Vision, though, again, you're trading this for all space and Satanic is making moves now.
What a hero, Satanic, he jumped right into that Light Striker rain. Now the shackle to hold down the real PL. Has enough to finish him with Satanic. All the stunts coming in, and he is gone. Very strong kill here for Yuma. DM will try to move in, but he's a bit late to the party. They come in one by one. Here comes No One in 9 Class now, just committing for this fight. They want to salvage so darn bad. Analog taking down DM, not tying it. The Nightmare. Eventually they will secure 2-for-1 trade at the end, was it?
Yeah, 2 for 2 in the end. Yeah, it's still pretty good. You trade away pretty big in terms of slowing down Satanic. I'd say losing your puck, maybe not the biggest issue for Analog. He did have a decent enough P-Vision. In terms of net worth, overall, slightly favorable for Heroic, but not too badly. I think for Satanic, I like seeing that he's already getting aggressive even before the sags. It does feel like you do need that time to be You're not the tankiest. Yeah, your old weaknesses on PL are still kind of there. There is enough AoE damage to hide
Schofield, but you're going to give up an extra Ducalis. These attempts that they've been trying to make continue to not work out, and it's mostly off the back of the fact that Schofield's just coming in every time.
It's this Shadow Shaman factor, and we were talking about it in the green room. This hero is just so annoying to play against. A good sniper class, so will take away this Maelstrom timing for a little bit longer on Yuma, and that's going to slow down the farm for a minute 30 at the very least. You're buying yourself some equity, some equality here for P-Vision to keep that farm pace going. But you've got to find a way to jump this Shadow Shaman. You want, say, a blink timing on 9th class sooner rather than later. He is going for the drums first. But it does feel like, again, a lot of your control, a lot of this safe way of counterfighting relies on that. And until you reach that point where you have that level 6 and you have that blink to reposition, can be a little bit challenging. Maybe just the level 6 alone should be enough for 9th class, as he's been making these moves all across the map that he's sacrificed a lot of EXP. He will hit that 6, so the Dark Ascension should start to simplify things. Massive stacks still being cleared out here by the side of Heroic. Never found out by P-Vision, despite having that vision earlier on. Got a little bit more supposed to steal some gold away, but there has been a lot of action across the map, so no real downtime to try to snipe some stacks. And this is also leading into that big timing now for Whisper. The Ags on the Dawnbreaker. Having that additional, having that faster jump down, it can complicate these fights, as we've seen time and time again. The setup for Heroic is not as complicated as it would for the counterfights of the Legion.
Oh dear. The man is taking way too much damage. Unable to sustain himself as Analog will secure another kill. Heroic now 10-9, very slight net worth lead their way. So far, very good here from Heroic. I mean, you really couldn't have asked for a much better start of this game too.
You certainly couldn't. It's a lot more aggressive early on here as well. 10-9, 12.5 minutes. Slight advantage only coming the way of Heroic, but again, you're just seeing that ease of execution kick in. You find the pickoff, you have Solar Guardian, you have the Dream Core, very long cooldowns to throw out. Your supports are relatively tanky. It's very strange to say that about Shadow Shaman, but it just is the way it is with his innate. And you are still getting a lot of room out for Yuma to farm. Granted, again, this is without the Maelstrom, which is flying in now and is fully finished up, but needed by a minute and a half because of that courier snipe. But now that pace really gets going. For P-Vision, blessing in disguise is just, again, he's been free-farming top. The Phantom Lancer does have enough gold for the Ags outright, and he will pick it up here. Satanic flies in. You do have this Ags timing up here, PL. With the Lancelot, the long-range Phantom Rush, and all these illusions coming in, and the interaction with the Lance, of course, with Lancelot, all of that damage can be overwhelming. You're not at the point where you're expecting too many auras to come in, of course, with Whisper going for the full Ags first. So don't pipe to mitigate that. Crimson damage on these illusions as well, although not massive by any means at this point in the game. Can start to be substantial with the Ags. I want to see this theory crafting from BSJ kind of kick in. I want to see the PL actually have that big impact, because I think even at one PL game that won, back to an SF anyhow.
Yeah. Like that, John?
He admitted it too. It's like, yeah, alright, it's the SF showing that one.
Are fortified.
We want to see it. I'm playing to be happy.
Move in, Shackle set up again. We'll find the Bane of the coming in with the cards. We're trying to chase down Scofield. Here comes that Solar Guardian. Whisper making it. But now Whisper's the one in danger. He's stuck on the low ground. Whisper will drop. Not a good start as DM, he just so away. And he's going to try and do this one around. Very nice double again. Satanic going down as P-Vision. I mean, it was a very nice start from DM. I believe he had like a 4-man decay. It won't matter, they dive tier 2 towers and they pay heavily for it.
They do, they go way too far. I would say the timing of the spell usage for P-Vision again has been sublime. That split earth as the landing is coming in, instantly stunning Whisper, holding back that Dawnbreaker output was pretty spectacular. It's just, you didn't have enough to keep going with all this protection coming in from the side of Heroic.
I think they just thought, like, there's no way we lose this fight once Whisper dies, which is a fair thought. The issue is you're diving tier 2 towers, and they still have the setup here from Analog to hold you down. It just wasn't a great time at all.
No.
There's so much confidence, and then you see DM just big decays over and over again. But tier 2 towers.
No. And again, it was enough time as well for Yuma to actually show up and contribute. We're talking about the burst damage on Lina.
He's gonna die another time. Analog setting up here, allowing Whisper to secure a kill. As much net worth as no one has, he's just not able to sustain himself in these little pickups.
Not quite yet. Trying to work with that BKB to have to but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be enough. Satanic's trying to go back for that defusal, so going back for a more classical PL instead of that Mage Slayer sort of build-up that I think BSJ was saying was the ideal reaction. And going for a little bit more scaling here, which can still pay off. It's just there is a feeling of a lack of damage at this point, right? Like your Lesh doesn't really burst down. He plays for a little bit more sustained damage with a mana pool, trying to maintain presence up front. Whereas for Heroic, you've got Lina, you've got a Puck, you've got a Dawnbreaker, even the Ogre Magi to an extent, if he gets lucky with Fire Blast. First options here for Heroic. You don't have that much of a window to play for P-Vision if they're just allowed to get on top of you.
Heroic certainly just trying to smother P-Vision right now. Head up towards the top lane through the twin gates. Can't find the Heroic. Just a tier 1 tower if no heroes around. You do have Satanic just towards the south of Heroic. They'll check the northern side jungle. They'll see a pure illusion though, so they're moving in. Corner's out, they'll miss out on the real Satanic, but the chase continues. Yuma will see him there for a second, but they've dived too deep now. Quite risky territory. You don't want to venture out here.
It's a lot of time commit out from your to get that move going, which, again, I appreciate this thought process of finding aggression, but we've seen this in game 1. If the smoke fails, you're not farming the map. P-Vision will reel that lead back slowly, but still, 6k lead down to 5k over all that time spent. You've gotten some recovery room out for no one. Of course, Satanic was not really stopped from farming in that top area. Usual's not too far off now as well for the Phantom Lancer. So some issues to worry about here once those illusions start to get on top of you. And their triangle is still secure. You didn't swing it to the side of Heroic. They will maintain another smoke though. See if this one is any better. They've got that blink up again on Analog to try to get the repositioning in.
No coil though. So good for the hunt. Pacing down no one. We'll see 9 class look an illusion rune. Jumps in, gets the smoke break, immediate shackle, and 9 class is going to be left to die. Team not seeing the opening to try and fight back won't bother. Way too challenging to fight into Heroic when you know the Solar Guardian's going to come in at any moment. They will just let him die. For Heroic, still a fight game, 17 to 11. Complete control of the map at the moment, and they do just force it out. Again, P-Vision, they don't really have an option. No. They can't even look to fight.
They have to let it go. Damage is there to Yuma. The more, of course, to speed up this process. And you're going to have to deal with a secondary life on that Lina. Again, the difficult game for people about how you take control of these engagements. Because your stuns aren't the most reliable outside of Nightmare and Grim. But there's a big threat to just find the and you have a lot of ways to interrupt anyhow on that single target control that the Bane provides. Relying on that silence here coming out from 9 class without the blink is a little bit difficult. At the least you have a blink, some ways of repositioning for helpful as well. But it's just simpler for Heroic, like we've been saying time and time again. Dream Coil, Solar Guardian, and the single target bolt on the Shaman's a lot more reliable as well. Just getting a right click off with chicken fingers to set up buys you a lot of time. And it's just a more complicated game to execute on for Paradise, for P-Vision. They need time, they need that build up. They're getting into an Orchid here, which will help you against heroes like the Puck. The massive. You don't really have anything defensive coming out here for Analog, so at the least you can catch the Puck off guard once that timing's up. But again, Heroic are not allowing P-Vision to breathe. Another smoke attempt.
Yeah, another beautiful setup as well from Scope. He's just been so lethal on this Shaman.
Hot enough for you?
So scary when Scope Lincoln set up like that as a go, and also find Carlos. Carlos down. He's a Scope, but he's just been such a menace. I mean, no one just cannot catch him right.
He's been given no room to breathe. And again, this is something very consistent from Heroic. Game 1, maybe not as successful with some of these gangs. Game 2, a lot more successful with at least seen one big pickoff already with smoke usage. It feels like when you have to play against a Shaman, especially in this Esports World Cup here, like, it's been too much. It's really been too much. With all the control, its ability to just be the biggest nuisance in the game, just having it really easy way of just initiating without committing too much as well, getting some follow-through control, getting the push, having its durability with foul play, it's your innate. It's a lot just from this one hero. Vision. This Orchid timing has to pan out. Satanic. Like, this control onto something like the poker Lina has to pay off.
Leave him alone, Schofield! Leave him alone! Oh, Schofield just bleeding at the moment, John.
That he is all just with a blink dagger and a force stab. That's all you need. That Shadow Shaman. Again, they've been really impressive on Heroic. How they've worked that map. Their understanding of PvP's movement is a lot better than it was in game 1, where PvP was a lot better at dodging out. This time, they're finding them every single time. The only silver lining is this farm coming in for some, again, has led to that full Orchid up, going back for the Manta. So again, a little bit more in line with what you tend to see from classic PL, outside of the Ags, of course, which you tended to see a little bit right now. We need to see that impact, though. All of that gold has been pouring into Satanic and Satanic alone. No one, still somewhat keeping up, but they are starting to really bear the brunt of just not having the room to a little bit better. You're going to lose for Mentor, though. Right here, right now, with the Night Rain, of course, down bot. A lot more resistance. With that 1.5 second invulnerability for our Shadow Shaman now. Again, more things to work on. More P-Vision. You have to get that clean kill. You have to ensure in that window no one can just stand his ground. His BKB is almost done, at least that.
We got him. Not going to be able to get there. 9 pass, he really just wants a blink to be able to set up for his team. He's about 400 gold off, but he's just being given no space to farm it. Heroic. You look at Yuma, he's already out of control. He's not even at the daedalus. It's only set to get a lot worse.
Yeah, you're not feeling that pure build just yet from the side P-Vision. Again, they've not been willing to group up. Quite some time here. They've been ceding ground out to Heroic. They're trying to dodge out this Aegis timing as well quite nicely, but they're starting to lose some after house. Only the first tier 2 falling for now. Aegis only about half a minute left. Considered the blocks a little bit more, but they already found some key kills. And for P-Vision, it's that blink for 9 class, it's that BKB for no one, which is fully done. It's the full Manta and just build up on PL. At this point, though, I mean, you have enough to deal with all of these illusions. You have enough to deal with all of that damage, it feels like, with the game just going your way on the side of Heroic. P-Vision out, first group up in a while, trying to hunt with a smoke, no vision across the river, and have to get lucky to a big here.
Sorry, I think it's almost just a wall to get some vision out. Quite frankly, I don't think they actually want the fight. In fact, they will just head down south, find some positions where they can actually farm freely for a little bit, because right now, it just felt like the last few minutes have just been able to do nothing on this map. We'll just take over the bottom side of the map. Heroic will leave them be at this stage.
Radiant's bottom
part of me believes Heroic
attack.
shouldn't slow down, but the other part of me thinks, well, hold on. They've been able to do it technically. Yuma the Lina, like we've seen late game Lina be really ridiculous. But maybe not. It feels like with this kind of draft, you kind of secure late game anyway.
You do. I mean, you've got scaling on Health, you've got scaling on Lina, even the Dawnbreaker can kind of scale up as well with more auras or more damage and durability that can come in. There's no concern. I think there's a very real damage issue for the side of P-Vision as the game goes on. Again, Phantom Lancer isn't really a bursty kind of hero. Neither is Lesh. They kind of take these prolonged fights if DM lives long enough to get some good decays. We haven't really seen that in this match just yet, as the burst damage from Heroic has just been really overwhelming. It's been impossible to try to take these long damage. Free room given up for Heroic to take another tier 2 up top. For the damage here from Yuma and these just rewards coming in from Schofield, it really does not take long. One outer tower left now. And again, like, this is still P-Vision, right? Like, this is not a team you can count out even if a game is going this sideways relatively early on. But it's just looking harder and harder to try to play this timing.
We got another smoke. Heroic have an idea as to where P-Vision are. No one. He breaks the smoke battle. This will be very already caught out. This could be the fight. Guardian though, living in ground. Keeping everyone alive. Yuma though. Yuma surrounded. He is down. They need a lead. Left behind. Oh, there it is. The key to success. Kill the shaman.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we've seen in the past few days. If Shadow Shaman is allowed to just do Shadow Shaman things, you're in a world of hurt. Again, it's just beautiful positioning out from no one. And that fight is entirely on the Slash rack, breaking the smoke, getting that blink out of the tree line, and surviving the 4 heroes on top of it. Like, that's what gives you that opening. That's what allows the angle to come in for Satanic. And Satanic, I mean, you're seeing the effect of that Lancelot with a Phantom Rush. With all these spirits coming in, all these lances coming out, with no aura on the side of Heroic, that damage is starting to get a little bit overwhelming here.
It absolutely is. I think it was a very nice position from no one as well. Like, he breaks off the smoke. Heroic, they didn't realize he was to the north. They thought they were to the south. You know, there was a few key things that played a part in that last team fight, but certainly everything going as long as it could have there for Heroic. Still, they are in a prime position, John. 7k net worth advantage. Only issue is, you gave Satanic a lot of gold and farm. Suddenly has a bit of space to farm on the map. He'll start working towards that Heart of Tarask, so it's easy to burst it down through those Shackle Hex plays. As we saw, Yuma, if you get jumped on the Lina, you are pretty squishy.
That you are. And again, one standing issue for the side of Heroic is a lack of aura. Right? Like, yeah,
that's a lot of damage.
That it is coming in there, and there's nothing to mitigate that. Like that, it's just this lack of aura. No one's building a pipe. No one's building a Crimson Guard. You're not going to get a Guardian Greaves out anytime soon from either. So you're just kind of stuck, eating all of this damage, eating all of this, starting to scale damage as well from Satanic. Consistent magic damage coming out. Not even like Glimmer King on any of your supports here just yet. So the burst, or not burst, but these prolonged or longer fights do feel better for P-Vision because you don't have those auras in comparison to DM playing this Undying off. Yeah, he has a Blade Mail, but he's got the Crimson, he's got the Pipe, pumping out to burst down. P-Vision is not an easy task, even with all of this damage. So long as the Undying's able to use his items, plus get the Soul Rip off, with all of these illusions around as well, it's a lot of free HP to give out with that Soul Rip on top of it. So you do have to be somewhat cautious, and P-Vision, they're getting confident. A smoke up again, not spotted under any vision. Again, their forward vision's a bit lacking, but that scan is perfect.
He is. How can they approach the KJ? He's blocking the way. Get out of there, meanwhile, he is down. Lost by Blast the move. Feeds the battle. As we go, trying to move out of there. He'll make it up and out, but no one. Comes back in. Open down the Dawnbreaker. He can do nothing, surely. He'll try to man it. Wake up Yuma again, but he will at least take Yuma. Rather no one. Not gonna fight back. Another shackle. Double DM Satanic in massive trouble. He's down. Against the wall. He'll miss out on the puck kill. A triple kill for Yuma. And a full team wipe for Heroic.
get that ball rolling really good on the side of Heroic. The initiation angle out from P-Vision, not the cleanest. But like, going so forward on our main, firing line here for Daedalus, not what you want to see. The Undying making that move here for DM, sure, it's perfectly fine, but they get split apart. The heroes lower on the ramp, you manage to get to the good. Certain more usage, you manage to cut that movement onto the high ground. And it just made it very awkward for P-Vision to try to play with that space that DM was trying to buy them. Like, look at the back. That jump right in there to cut them across. You're not getting 9 classes impact related to that fear. And it just becomes a little bit of a mess. Once that fight goes down.
Yeah, that really does. So we do have Roshan happening live as well as so much back around here. Set up for a nice fight. Satanic not feeling like he can stick around, does end up backing off, but that was pretty much all she wrote. Next Roshan, of course, did end up going. Heroic, here we go again. Court is down. No questions asked. 9 club. Trying to get away. Analog's going to find him in the tree line. P-Vision will be dropping another time.
They've been so good at punishing here on the side of Heroic. They've got their opening now. They've got a little bit of window. So long as they can split apart P-Vision, so long as you don't find these angles out from 9th class to get on top, it's very easy to cut the knights in the center of that formation of the side of P-Vision with that lack of hard lockdown. For Heroic, it's just so easy to get that done. Full Satanic finished up on Yuma, going for a Divine now as well, queuing that one up. Just looking for the end game nice and fast here on the Lina. P-Vision, I'm not sure which way you go. They have this lack of control. It's a matter of, can you find the Shadow Shamans we saw in the last fight? I would argue even finding the Ogre can be quite impactful here. Like, taking away the supports on your own provides you that opening, it gives you a window where you might be able to hold onto those BKBs for just a tad bit longer, use them up against the Lina and the Puck instead. It's just so difficult to see that happening when you have to always think about Whisper and that Solar Guardian. Like, even if you make a move on a support, with Solar Guardian up, yeah, he's going to rip you to shreds with that Shiva's build up here.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for sure for P-Vision. Heroic, prime position, try and get this series to a game 3. I don't have my doubts about these PL picks, by the way, John. Might I just add? It just feels like it takes an infinite amount of resources to make the hero work.
I mean, that's been the story of Phantom Lancer for some time now. You know, I recall a player called Pale Horse who used to really push Phantom Lancer out as well.
Yes.
Right? Like, it also took him like at least 30 minutes to get that hero in a playable state. At the least, it felt a little slightly quicker here in comparison. I think this Ag's Diffusal Orchid timing was pretty sharp. It's just already kind of tapered off, as you're seeing.
Analog just doing so much damage with that Parasma. Having a great old time on the puck. They're immediately going to smoke up knowing the Knight's thought. 45 scenario for P-Vision. They do not want this fight. Directly north is where Yuma will run. It's right near Satanic. Analog might run right into it. Finally goes down as Satanic. He's found the puck. Maybe they can find this one. AJ in danger. Yuma's left the area, and somehow P-Vision pull off the fight pretty easily.
Yeah, this time around, I think that was much more forced out from Heroic than it was from P-Vision. They did not manage to split apart the ball. Unlike that last fight where, again, they split it between the high and low ground.
It feels like you can't work the jump DM first.
No, he's too tanky. I mean, it isn't Undying with full aura build. I think it's that as well as this time around your sports did get blown up quite fast. But you lost your Shadow Shaman, no one was on top of him. You've got the DOTs to just press him down even after foul play. So you're not too concerned about the speed in that one. And once you lose those key axes, these two pieces of control in the Fire Blast and the Shackles Hex, then it becomes very easy for P-Vision to actually get their own supports going, get, you know, good positions for the grip, good positions for the Nightmare to stall. Don't need to worry. You can focus in on Yuma, you can focus in on Analog and what they're doing on the Puck and Lina. And it is a little bit more difficult to get that done, for sure. Again, the threat of Solar Guardian is always there, but this time it falls a little bit flat from Whisper. Not as many heroes caught in that one as it would in the previous fights.
Is under attack.
Can you not make yourself
Probably
better?
vision. Again, feeling much more confident on the map. We'll take a shot. So see with Satanic. For anyone's game, it feels like in this game too. Aegis will expire in 30 seconds. Dota Plus has now switched to vision for the first time this game. 3% is all that.
It's a little
Radiant's
bit
top
concerning,
tower is under
actually,
attack.
when you look at how much Vision's gotten off the bat in these last few minutes. Having the Ags Octarine up on DM, who's already tanky.
Oh, that Hex is
and
big.
In prolonged fights, you've got more control. Fights being up. No one, which again, we mentioned this lack of single target. Having the sight, along with that full Orchid Blood Torrent, which is done on Satanic, it's not easy any longer for Analog to play his slippery game. Like, he is being punished for not having anything to block off. He's going back to focus now. Whether or not he has the time to farm this full item up remains to be seen, as that threat for control is back for Vision. Only a 2k lead for Heroic at this point in the game doesn't really amount to much. And again, just no way of mitigating this damage. You are still set to find at least that Glimmer Cape up on Schofield, but you don't have a Pipe Carrier. You don't have a Crimson Guard carrier. Your output here on the Phantom Lancer and the Leshrac stays relevant. With this Undying with Octarine Axe in a prolonged fight, you're just not going to have HP to play with.
Yuma, this could be really bad. He's got a sight device here on no one. If they can find Yuma, it would be massive. They won't. Instead of into the Yoga first, but they found another. Get caught. And look, Satanic rushing directly towards Yuma. Lost the man by the Satanic. He's taken too much damage. Finally. But it's all too late, I think. There really is fight to be had. Now Whisper at the very least. No one's still trying to keep it going. But Yuma's being too hard. DM is gone. Will be forced to try and TP away, but they can't even do that. No one goes down a bird. For Yuma. And it should be a full team fight. Ducalis will go down. Triple kill. Right into the Divine Rapier.
Yeah, this is that turnaround moment now for the side of Heroic. And for Vision, it's time they give themselves the rougher circumstance to take that fight. Satanic's going really far in. Your backup's cut off in the middle of that triangle. The PL in the vacuum up against Alina Dawnbreaker. The easiest time to try to dodge and make action happen. With his Divine up, your Raxes are just melting. No buybacks on a few key heroes here for Vision. I don't see that long enough to get the Leshrac back up, get no one back in, and Satanic back in anytime soon. Yeah, but Heroic are forcing this.
They are. Crimson Guard to be able to try and slow this down. 3 more seconds of the POV back up. Meanwhile, goes for jumping in and back damage up.